Hey peoples, Born from Grease Monkey Gaming here, and I've got a round of Conquest on the Bondan Flats, which I'll be driving the LAV, and finish the round going 18-1. Through this gameplay, I'll explain the loadouts of the LAV and try to give some tips and insight in the LAV. So on a map like this one, where there isn't a lot of buildings or anything, it's really open and pretty flat. It's not urban at all. I don't see the need to use something like proximity scan, because being out in the open is going to be hard for enemies to sneak up on you. Most of the time you're going to be able to see them coming, because being in an open field there's not a lot of places to hide. There's no buildings where they can sneak around corners and load you up with C4 and destroy you. So if you're playing by yourself, that's one thing, but if you're playing with a gunner, that makes everything a whole lot easier. It's a second set of eyes for you. He's watching your back. He's looking out for you, and it's even more easier if you're communicating with him. Now I've got somebody in there right now, but I'm not communicating with him. He's just a teammate in there trying to help me out. And it'd be way easier if we were communicating, but we're not on this round. So I'm gonna go over the options for loadouts, and they're pretty simple. But you do need to choose the right ones depending on if you're playing with a gunner and you're communicating with them, or if you're just trying to go at it alone, which I'm doing right here. And I see this guy on the roof is about to go flying, and I see his laser up there, and there he goes, here he comes, boom, lands on the ground pretty hard. Oh man, I feel sorry for that guy. So the loadout options in the first slot, we've got belt speed, proximity scan, maintenance, thermal camo, and reactive armor. Belt speed reduces the reload time of your main weapon, so quicker reloads, you don't have to wait as long for that. Maintenance will help your vehicle recover from damage. Thermal camo hides your vehicle from being locked on and increases the difficulty locked on from javelins and SOFLAMs and stuff like that. Also, it decreases the time you're being spotted, so revealed on the minimap. Proximity scan displays enemies on your minimap if they're within a certain radius, and works in any seat of the vehicle. Whether you're the driver, the gunner, or any one of the passengers, you will have proximity scan no matter what seat of the vehicle you're in. And this might have helped me right here. As I pull up, trying to take this flag, and I don't see these guys because I don't have a gunner and I don't have proximity scan. I'm about to be double teamed by a set of engineers, I think. Yeah, there's one rocket enemy, and there's the other one, and I get that one guy, but the other guy I can't find, and he ends up repair tooling me. I try and circle around back, try to shoot him, but he ends up getting a repair tool kill on me. That's because I didn't have proximity scan or a gunner, so I had no way of knowing where he was. Now the options for the second slot are IR smoke, thermal optics, and zoom optics. The smoke will clear you from any laser designation, incoming missiles, and being spotted. You'll be cleared from all that whenever you use the smoke, and it also can hide you if you need to hop out and repair real quick. That's what I usually do, is pop smoke and then hop out, repair, hop back in. Thermal optics will highlight your enemies and vehicles, making them easier to see on the battlefield. Zoom optics will obviously zoom in your weapon, and on the gunner or driver, it does this with a 3x zoom. And in the third slot, we've got anti-tank guided missile launcher, which lets you fire a missile and guide it by steering or moving your crosshairs, so wherever you aim or look, that's where that missile is going to go. Coaxial LMG is a light machine gun that's aimed the same way as your main weapon. Just switch on over, and that will allow you to use the light machine gun. Then we've got armor-piercing, fin-stabilized, discarding sabot with tracer rounds. Now those are like a tank's main cannon because they're armor-piercing rounds, and they don't do the explosive damage like the LAV's main shells do. Now what you can do is you can use the explosive shells on a vehicle. If they've got reactive armor or whatever, you're going to disable that really quick, And then if you switch on over to the armor-piercing shells, they do a lot more direct damage. So it's going to take out, tanks and other vehicles really quickly if you hit them because of that direct armor-piercing damage. Now, what I usually use on the LAV or belt speed. So in a situation like this, where I was battling a tank, and then a couple guys, I don't have to wait for reloads, I don't have to back off or anything. I'm going to be able to switch between multiple targets really quick and keep firing on them. That's why I use belt speed. I use IR smoke just so I can, evade missiles and lock-ons and things of that nature. And then I choose the armor-piercing shells because if you choose armor-piercing shells, you don't have to wait at all to switch on over to that. You can use your 6 shots of explosive shells, then you can switch to the 6 shots of armor-piercing shells without any wait time. The only wait time is the switch button, however long you take to hit the switch button. Unlike the tank, where if you were running, your main cannon and then like a canister shell, you'd have to wait for that reload time. You can't use your main cannon and canister shell one after the other. The LAV, if you used explosives and armor piercing, you can switch back and forth. That's why I killed that vehicle so fast, because I killed him, got his damage down with the explosive shells, and then I switched to armor piercing and really knocked him out. That's the quickest and most efficient way I've found of killing vehicles. There's no wait time while you're using one set of shells, the other one's reloading. So basically, if you use the explosive shells and armor piercing, you can almost fire non-stop just by switching between the 2 sets of shells. So that is really efficient at killing vehicles and really anything. Infantry, really vulnerable to the explosive shells. Shoot them on the ground, they have pretty good splash damage. Also good for killing armor on vehicles, and then after you knock that armor down, pounding them with the armor-piercing shells. So hopefully you guys got something out of this video, like the gameplay. Hopefully you learned something about the loadouts, kind of the tips that I was talking about with the different types of shells and what you can use there. So if you guys learned something, check out our other videos, and I'll catch you guys later.